Hey guys, it's S.E.R Sports. Now we're back with a brand new video. And in today's video, I am with
Yay!
I'm
Hi
with
guys.
I'm with Fred. You might recognize him from one of my other videos. He was actually the Rams video from last year. Now we're doing the video this year. As you can see, Fred's got a lot of Bears bobbleheads there. I got my background stuff, and we're doing a little different type of recording method today. We're actually on like a video call, and we're just screen recording here. So yeah, we're ready to get started with this video. And so I'm just gonna go over the depth charts for the Bears offense, and Fred's gonna go over defense, and I'm gonna go over special teams, and then we're gonna go from there. So the Bears QB that's gonna be starting week 1 is Andy Dalton. Then for running backs, David Montgomery is going to start. The second string is Damian Williams. Third string is Khalil Herbert. The wide receiver starters is A-Rob, Darnell Mooney, and Marquise Godwin. And tight end, the Bears got a lot of tight ends. Cole Kmet. The second string is Jimmy Graham. Third string is Jesse James. You also have J.P. Holtz and Jesper Horsted. The old line at left tackle, Jason Peters is a starter. Larry Borum, second string. Left guard, Cody Whitehair. And first string's Cody Whitehair, then Alex Bars. First center, it's Sam Mustafer. And then Cody Whitehair as the backup. And for right guard, it's right guard is James Daniels, Alex Bars, and so for right tackle, you have Jermaine Ifedi, Elia Will. I can't really say his name, but we're just gonna say Elia W, because a lot of these names are a little bit hard to pronounce. I'm not gonna lie. There's one guy in defense, Joel Igebuki or something, and Latavius Simmons. Now, Fred, defense.
On the defensive line, you got Akeem Hicks, Angelo Blackson, Eddie Goldman, Kyrus Tonga,
Tonga.
Y. Nicholas. A very interesting collection of last names. Uh, Outside linebackers, you got Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn. Inside linebackers, Roquan Smith and Alec Ogletree.
Ogletree is pretty cool last name.
Yeah. Cornerbacks are going to be Jalen Johnson, uh, Kyle Vindor, Artie Burns, Duke Shelley, and yeah. Safeties for the game, Eddie Jackson and Tashawa Gibson. Backups for them, Deion Bush and DeAndre Houston Carson.
And then the special teams is Cairo Santos as the kicker, Pat O'Donnell as the punter, Patrick Scales as the long snapper, kick returner is Khalil Herbert with Nisimba Webster. At second string for punt returner, obviously Tariq Cohen's not there, so Tariq Cohen's not there. I think he's supposed to be back around week 4, week 5 time, somewhere near there. Yes, in a few weeks he'll be back, and it'll be nice getting him back. Punt returner is Nisimba Webster. He's starting punt returner, and then Demir Bird is the second string for punt returner. So now we're going to be going through our 3 keys about the Bears so they can get a win this weekend. And I'm going to go over the first key right here. Is the Bears O-line will have a tough job this week. They need to block powerful Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald. You should see a picture of him. He's just ripped. He's got a lot of power. He could push those linemen back if our linemen are not on their game. So we need to be very sharp on offense. And then for on the other side of the line, we also on the Rams defensive line, Leonard Floyd. He's very shifty. He's a little smaller. He could fit through those holes. Right through those offensive linemen, and those are their top 2 defensive linemen that are going to be the biggest threats for us. And the old line, it's their first time with new guys. It's their first time, it's their first time being together. Some of our new guys, Jason Peters, wasn't on the team. Jermaine Fetty hasn't gotten that much reps yet. So the line is still very, very young, and it's going to be interesting to see on Sunday night how the line will do. And they're going to need to open big holes for David Montgomery, because last year, at least at the beginning of the season, the holes there were very there wasn't much holes, and so he got a lot of those yards just from breaking through tackles,
Powering
and
through.
yeah, he's just powering through like a fullback or something. So that's something the Bears will need to work on this season, and yeah, that basically is the first key. So the Bears O line, we need to be sharp on Sunday.
Yeah. The second key for this upcoming game is the Bears cornerbacks with all of them new guys with Jalen Johnson in his second season against veterans like Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, and if Deshaun Jackson is in and has a good
Deshaun
game,
Jackson's got a lot of speed too.
yeah, a faster wide receiver, if he stays healthy that game and he stays in the entire game, we're going to be in trouble if the cornerbacks don't step up like Jalen Johnson and Luke Shelley.
Yep. Yeah. So as you said, Deshaun Jackson is a speed threat in our corners. They're gonna need to they're gonna need to stay on him, because if he gets into the open field, he could be a big threat, and so he could cause some damage, maybe get a touchdown or two. And our third and final key to the game is the Bears wide receivers need to get open against the elite Rams defense. So Allen Robinson's, I think he's mostly going to be covered by Jalen Ramsey, like a Pro Bowl corner. And Jalen Ramsey had a great, great, great season last year. I think one of the best, if not the best, cornerback. Do you agree with me? Last year,
Yeah,
yeah. And
Rams really good.
yeah. And I forgot to say about the cornerbacks. It's a very young cornerback team, because one of our starters is a second year player in Jalen Ramsey, and so we have a pretty young cornerbacks on our team, and that's, I think, is the biggest weakness on the Bears right now. That's going to cause them the most problems.
We're one of the youngest secondaries in the league.
Yeah. That's probably going. That's so the Bears' defense is pretty. We have a great defensive line, great linebackers. Those DBs. So the safety and we got Eddie Jackson at safety and at both ends of corners. Where I don't know for hopefully they could adjust pretty well, but I think it's going to be a pretty tough job for them moving forward. So
Yeah,
back to the third key. Sorry, went a little off course there. The Bears wide receivers, as I said, Allen Robinson, he's going to get a tough time against Jalen Ramsey. It's going to be rough out there. It's going to be really rough. And I think there's some trash talking going on with Darnell Mooney and Jalen Ramsey earlier this year when the schedule came out. There's some trash talking, and people were saying that Jalen
yeah,
Ramsey can't cover him because of how fast he is. So, maybe Jalen Ramsey, if he goes up against Darnell Mooney, I'm going to be excited to see what goes on over there. And yeah, and
yeah.
they
We
need to
got
create.
a two against the Rams secondary and safeties with Godwin that we acquired this offseason. Hopefully he'll step up. And
Yeah, and the Bears wide receivers, they need to create some separation, because creating separation in football, it's key, because you need to if once you create separation, it's an easier throw for the quarterback. Instead, these quarterbacks, I know they are elite, they're the best of the best in the world, but throwing through a little tiny space it's hard. I mean, quarterbacks is it's a hard position, and getting an extra separation, or you want to get like 5 feet separation, and the guys behind you, you get it, and not only that, catching the ball, you got more space to run, cutting up field. So getting more separation and getting catches that are not as congested. So that pretty much
Yeah.
wraps up all of our keys. And Justin Fields, he's not starting this week. Probably not going to start next week or the week after. I'm thinking.
Hopefully,
I'm
that's the
thinking week
line.
4 against the Lions. How about you, Fred? Week 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's pretty much it for now. But one of the best parts of the video, we have our score predictions. Let's let the special guest go first. Fred, what's your prediction for the game?
I'm gonna say Rams 24 and the Bears will get 13 because we're gonna be lucky to score even one touchdown with this crazy good Rams defense with Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, and a bunch of other young cornerbacks that we haven't even mentioned in this video.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a
it's gonna be a battle.
battle.
Yeah, last year the Bears kind of they got their butts whooped by the Rams, and it was I remember watching that game. I think it was the Bears would have taken like first place in the NFC. They would have won that game, right? That's
I
when.
think so.
Wait a minute. Was that when the losing streak started?
Yeah,
All
that was
right,
our first.
that's when like what? Do we lose like 5 games in a row? So
Yeah.
that's when the big losing streak of 20 happened, and it started against the Rams. So I mean, hopefully that doesn't have to do with anything. Hopefully that's not some bad luck, but knock on wood. So now for my prediction, I also have the Bears losing by a score of 28-17. The reason why I have the Rams scoring a little more than the Bears, so 28 is because of the fact that we our DBs are we have like we said they're super young, and I just think that's going to be the weakness of the Bears this year. Our run protection, so we could really stop the run. Now we have Eddie Goldman back in. Eddie Goldman, number 91. He pushes that center back. He pushes those D linemen back or old linemen back. So it makes the quarterback have to force the ball out. So he basically puts pressure on the quarterback, and on runs, they're just going to be running into a brick wall. Like they have nowhere to go. Um, and of course, you have Akeem Hicks there as well. So yeah, I don't see the Bears. I don't see the Bears letting up less than 20 points. I feel like they're going to be closer to 30 in that range, but I think it's going to be 28. Then for the Bears offense, I think we're going to get an okay amount, 17. Just because our offensive line, like I said, this is their first game. Really, there's some new guys there. They haven't had much time to. They haven't had like a. Usually, offensive lines they have a little. It's like a process. You keep adding it up, and over time you'll get a really good offensive line. Like Emmitt Smith, his offensive line literally he had 4 Hall of Famers on his offensive line. That's one of the reasons why he broke the rushing record. This guy right here, Walter Payton. I mean, I still think he's the best running back in history, just because. Dangle his head for a second. I mean, just because he didn't. Walter Payton, he was one of those running backs that just broke through everything, and he didn't ever have much daylight. That's the thing. So he never really had much daylight, and he was forced just to get those yards by himself.
Yeah, our
And
offensive line is still getting to know each other as well. We've only
but we definitely improved.
Yeah, but with Tevin Jenkins out, there's still a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah. We
a
forgot
lot
to
of things
talk.
to improve on.
Forgot to talk about him, the rookie Tevin Jenkins. Right, Jenkins. Am I saying it right? Yeah, Jenkins. He. I thought Ryan Pace. He did great this draft. He did absolutely great. I think he got an A. A. That's what I would give him. And so Jenkins, he's one of those guys. What is he? Is he right? He's tackle, right? He's a
Yeah, I
tackle.
think
Yeah,
so.
so he's a tackle. Which side? I think he's.
Right.
Yeah, he's a right tackle. So Um, he's a right tackle, and who's playing right tackle for us right now? Let me just check back. So
Hold
right
on.
tackle, we
Charles
have
Martinet.
Jermaine Fetty, and this the skill level. I mean Jermaine Fetty. Seeing him play last year, he was the sixth round pick, I think, and he also got drafted with Arlington Hamright later in the seventh round. But I just feel like watching Taven Jenkins highlights in college. That's a big loss, and now we're having to put in guys that are really just backup caliber. But another thing that will help is we have a guy like Jason Peters in there. Jason Peters, he's got
Yeah.
a lot of experience. He's a little old, but hopefully he can serve a good few years here in Chicago. So that's our final predictions. My predictions 28-17. Fred's prediction is 24-13, both in favor of the Rams. I'm going to be watching Sunday Night Football on NBC. It's going to be so exciting
Yeah.
seeing that in the new stadium with fans. It's going to be pretty cool. And yeah, that's
Good
pretty
game of the
much it.
season.
Yeah, it's pretty much it. It was fun doing a video with Fred. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining me. And yeah, every
Yeah.
single
Hopefully we'll be able
time
to
I was gonna
do
make
this
you have
more.
to make a promise with me. Every single time we do a video together, you gotta have those bobbleheads.
All right.
Who is that? Devin Hester. You got Walter Payton, Gail Sayers, and Dick Butkus. Those are all great players. Ooh, that's a double one. Ooh,
Yeah,
that's
they came together.
should go. Maybe I should go crack out my bobbleheads. They're in the special 100th anniversary box. I haven't opened up yet. I don't want them to lose any value, but maybe I should take them out, carefully put it. But that's
Yeah.
about it, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be my Fred. Can you make that video? Do you wanna?
All right. Yeah.
We'll see what we could do. We're gonna do a reactions video, and yeah, I'll see you then. And as always, bear down.